last reading for today. We'll save the best for last, right? Scorpio, y'all are my besties. Y'all are my best friends in Scorpio, and I'm super stoked I get to see her soon. So, feeling Scorpio vibe today. All right, we are getting started for the Wildwood Tarot here, and I've got your animal oracle cards. I am accepting donations for my readings now, so my Cash App info is in the video description. If you feel like donating, I would so appreciate it. It helps me out so much. If you're not feeling guided for that, excuse me, if you're not feeling guided for that, then like, share, comment, and subscribe. That would also be wonderful, and it helps the channel grow, helps me grow, helps me know my messages are going to the right place and meeting the right people. You know what I'm saying? So, it's an eclipse portal, it's Mercury retrograde, it's Saturn retrograde. There's a whole bunch of astrological shifts at this time. Sorry, I was like just kind of like sitting with that for a second. There's a lot of shifts at this time, so let's dive in and see what's coming in. Today is the new moon solar eclipse as I'm doing these readings, so definitely checking in with that energy. Let's see what's going on. So, you got the number 2. Oh, I love it too, because there's another face of a antelope back here. You got some throat chakra clearing right now, I'm not gonna lie. There's another antelope back here, kind of like a spirit guide watching over you. It was saying like a lover that can kind of come through on the 2, attracting the attractive forces like magnets, the 2, right? Could just be like a ancestor or soulmate, just someone watching over you. If the number 2 connects to any of those people, either present or passed on in your life, then that's kind of the energy coming in, and it's here to tell you that life is speeding up. Antelopes are pretty fast, and they can jump really, like, you know, they leap and they bound and everything. I'm just loving the horns coming off of this thing. They're so spirally, kind of like a DNA helix, double helix type thing. And there's the 2 again. It's kind of bringing up stuff about DNA, so you might be literally receiving light codes, DNA activations. There might be something about ancestry, or it's kind of mentioning maybe like babies, like procreation. It's something about that genetic code, that DNA. Something in your DNA is matching up to this time period where life is speeding up for you. Abundance overall, and it wants you to definitely keep up. So life is speeding up. You've got a lot of things on your plate, and you are encouraged to move fast with it. You can handle it, otherwise life wouldn't be giving it to you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. Your spirit guides are watching over you, and you are magnificent, and you're just gonna like take off and dash right through. It's gonna be awesome. So that's part of the message coming in for you. Life is speeding up. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling like everything's like a race or something right now, then that is kind of what's coming in for you. It's meant to happen. Ooh, hang on. This card, these got stuck in my hand. It's coming through with a message about the great bear, which is definitely this card, but this is also a bear skeleton, and I like how there's such a comparison here of the 2. And it's also got me wanting to change my pose in my chair, so hang on one second. It's got me sitting in a lotus now, which, hang on, let me see if I can get back up to my table without wrecking everything. With it wanting me to sit in this lotus, part of it is just so my back can feel better. And that's where maybe like you're kind of feeling that too. Like you've just got a lot that you're kind of carrying around. These are 3 major arcana, Scorpio. That is some major energy. So definitely a major time of change in your life. It's comparing these 2 right here because this bear is very much alive, very real in that sense. This one's, it just said like a figment of your imagination. It's just fear-based, So, and then in the middle we have the Green Man, which is the Emperor card in a traditional deck. So, on either side of that Emperor, you've got these different bears. You have things that you are bearing, things to bear. There's a lot of fear that you are bearing, and then there's a lot of good things with this Judgment card that you're bearing, but it is still very fearful at the same time. So with the Great Bear, this is the Judgment card, and the whole thing is, both of these cards, there's big scary doors. Ooh, sorry, my dogs are going off. There's big scary bears in your life that you are kind of facing at this time. Hang on one second. How ironic. I was just talking about there's like big scary doors, and like literally someone just came over to see my son and walked through my front door. So that's what I mean. There's doorways, there's opportunities, there's things coming to you through doors, and there's doors that you need to pass through. So that was not a coincidence at all that just happened. That was Spirit very much syncing up with your message right now, Scorpio. So there are people and things, opportunities coming through doors towards you, and you're like, whoa, like what, where did this come from? And then there's also doors that you need to walk through. So back to your message, this is the Judgment card. There's a higher calling, a higher path for you. It can still feel very scary and unsure, but this is definitely like a blessing, is what it just said, like a blessing card. If you're scared to walk through a certain door, but it seems like a good opportunity, you need to go for it, Scorpio, because once you pass through the scary door, once you cross over this threshold right here and pass through the scary door and under this bear, again, it's flesh and blood and bone and very real. It looks terrifying and scary, but it's very real. And once you get to the other side, this is the Aurora Borealis. These are the northern lights, and that's about as beautiful as you can get, because that is a pure representation of Spirit and the blessings and the beauty that await you on the other side. And this is the Big Dipper. It's like a big dip into life, like you're scooping up the goodness of life is what it's kind of bringing me. So it feels intense, it feels like a lot, it's kind of maybe sprung on you and just out of the blue, and you're like, whoa, what do I do with this? Go through the door. Go through the door without a doubt, because there are beautiful things waiting on the other side of you. Oh, on the other side of you. This is a door possibly within yourself. That's what I mean. Like, you're feeling a higher calling within yourself, and you're like, I'm just not sure if I should trust that feeling. You should. You should go through that, because it's very, very, very real. Flesh, blood, bone. It's real. It's real. Without a doubt. So whatever uncertainties you're facing, look how much smaller this little door is, though, compared to the big door that's kind of behind this big scary bear. And that's where, and this one's a skeleton, and that's where it was saying this one's a figment of your imagination. This is fear. This feels much more ominous, possibly, than what it actually is. It's not that this is a smaller opportunity, it's just that, like, maybe you feel like it's super far away, and like the closer it gets, the scarier it gets, or you just feel like the fear is just so much more overwhelming, so the door is bigger, it's darker, it's scarier. All you can see is the fear in your imagination of like, well, what if I go through that door and this is what I get? I don't think that that's there for you. I feel like this is straight up just fear. The fact that it said like figment of your imagination, like a nightmare almost. And there are dark energies that can attack you in your sleep, psychic energies that can interfere with you. So sleeping with, like, you know, amethyst crystals around, which this is a Super 7 crystal. It's got many other crystals in it, but it's definitely got amethyst in its makeup, so it's kind of bringing that up. If you're feeling worried about some of that, like if you're getting a lot of nightmares or fear or stuff like that, then maybe you need to invest in some of that. But it's definitely like, maybe it feels too far off and you're unsure if you should go through the door. You definitely should, because it's a really nice big deep dive into life and the beauty of things. What's right up in your face is a bunch of fear, and it just looks very closed in and dark and scary. But it was saying specifically that this was a figment of your imagination, that there is just fear kind of like coming at you. It feels scary on either side, but which would you rather face, right? This bear is not going to harm you. It's just there to kind of freak people out it's kind of talking about like weeding people out kind of thing. Like if you're not serious, then you won't go through the door. So if you are serious, you need to go through the door. And let's just both point out that both of these doors kind of lead to the same thing, which feels like this Emperor energy. So you've got to face the fear, which isn't nearly as scary as you think it is, because it's actually this bear over here. And you feel like you are this Emperor, this green man energy. Although this is also very much just like a fatherly figure, father god of the forest type deal. So he comes with a lot of abundance and a lot of blessings, and that way very real resources, money, food, like I said, just abundance. Like it just said cool things. It said cool things in general. So like there's a lot of cool things on the other side of this door. Very abundant and blessing energy. Now, it can be very strict in some ways, like he don't play, he's the law of the land type deal. There's boundaries involved. There's certain things that you need to take into consideration. Like his blessings and his favors do come with certain things that you need to follow. It's not coming in like a energy. It's just letting you know, like, I have big blessings in store, and if you're not prepared to step up for the responsibilities and the things that I ask of you, then you won't receive them. And that's where maybe the fear is also coming in here. Like, do I really want to go through that door? Do I really want to accept those boundaries, that responsibility, those things that come with the trade-off of getting these blessings? I think you do. It's just, it all feels very serious, and yet it's not in here. Like, it's serious, but it's not that serious type deal. And so I think you're just building up a lot of stuff to be much bigger than it actually is, and yet at the same time it's a huge life shift. So it's okay that you feel like it's a huge thing, right? Like, that's okay. Just say, like, this is the horn of plenty and like the horn of power, and it's calling to you, right? And that's the whole thing, is like, you feel this, and it is a lot. It's very major. 3 major arcanas right here. Like, this is real. This is real. And it comes with certain things, that threshold, those boundaries, those things. But it's just like, it's a really big, real world, earthly blessing. And abundance for sure. Just, yeah. What else is coming out for Scorpio? Sorry, Scorpio, there's a lot of life is speeding up. There's a lot of things happening in the middle of your reading, so there's possibly just like a lot going on, and yeah, there's possibly just a lot going on for you, Scorpio. So like, I feel you right now. Like, your reading is like, it's getting a little interrupted. There's things coming through doors, there's people showing up, there's things like kind of happening here in your world, and you're like, whoa. So bear with me. Okay. This Page of Vessels, this otter energy, definitely reminds me of my best friend, because my best friend, who is a Scorpio, like I was mentioning at the beginning of this reading, loves otters, very much connects to otters. And the Page of Vessels is very much a friend energy, very sweet friend energy. Can help lead you to more friends, help lead you to kind of some of your path calling. Can be empathetic, sympathetic, a good listening ear, just a nice little guide for you in your life. And so, especially if you're like, I don't know about this, hang on. On the other side of this opportunity, what might be happening is there's a friend or someone that can speak to you to help show you a few things. Like, no, it's cool. Like, I've seen what's on the other side of this, right? Like, I've been down the river, I've seen what's on the other side of this. I promise you, it's cool. Maybe like I'll put in a good word for you, or they just listen to your stress and they comfort you, and they're like, it's gonna be okay, right? Like, you can go through this door and it's gonna be all right. Like, it's gonna be fine. And that's what this energy is kind of coming off of this Page of Vessels right here, is just someone that's definitely a friend, a good connection, very sweet, either going to help you go through that door or is waiting on the other side of that door. So again, if you're worried about like being alone, is there company, is there companionship available, is that a good opportunity? Yeah, it sounds like a sweet deal in general. Kind of wants it over here. Look, another major arcana, balance. Yeah, and look, there's some shadow energy in here too, with like the face split. Part of it's in shadow, part of it's in light. You got two of these serpent dragon things here. You are establishing balance within, and you have to establish that balance within because there's plenty of stuff that is a legitimate fear in life that you should just be like cautious and wary about. But if you let that overtake you, then you're out of balance. You're not balanced within yourself. There's also possibly some things you need to balance in your world in order to overcome the fear that you're feeling. So if you're feeling fearful, why? Well, there's something out of balance. It could just be within yourself, like emotionally, mentally, building up fear. But it could be like, well, I've got some things on my plate that I need to balance out first, right? I've got some things that I need to handle and take care of and bring into equilibrium is the word it just gave me, bring into equilibrium so that everything can make me, I can feel better about facing all this stuff and I can get rid of some of this fear, right? Major shift, y'all. There's a little guide here to help you though. But you were for sure, like, you're in a huge chapter of your life. Life is speeding up. Yes, you have decisions to make. You have decisions to make. Under that green man energy right there too. It's like, yeah, you've got decisions to make. You, and especially coming out next to this balance card with like this kind of 2 energy here. The 2 energy here, there's the 2 of bows. You got some decisions to make, but the most important thing, you got to get up on your little mountain peak, on your higher self, right? Stand at the top of your choices. Don't make choices out of fear. Bring them into equilibrium. Don't maybe look so far ahead at the big scary door that you lose sight of the little signs that are here to help guide you and the people along the way to show you like, we got this, it's going to be cool, you got this, you're going to be cool, all that stuff. And also, like I said, was saying, like, this is your energy, this is your higher self, and whether you're a masculine or a feminine, you are abundant, you are super duper powerful, you can grant yourself these your own blessings in a sense. But before you can achieve this kind of like mastered power, this like upgraded power, you have to kind of get on top of your little pinnacle. Like I said, I'm sitting in a lotus, so you might need to kind of like meditate and stuff, but he is lit up with the fire of decision because there's 2 different paths he can take. He can go to the left, which actually is his right, if you know he's facing up, so that's actually his right, so you can go to the right, where the friends are guiding you, where the sweet energy is guiding you, and it also said following you, and where something feels much more realistic and real, but still a little like, versus this energy over here where it's like I gotta bring so much into balance before I can even face this, and maybe that's where there's a whole bunch of fear. Maybe this is a whole different decision all in itself versus this over here. And it's like, man, if I'm going to face this, like I got to bring so much into balance first. And that's another heavy energy that I just don't know if I can handle all this heavy energy right now. There's so much on my plate and everything is speeding up. Like, what do I do with this? Well, you've got to make a decision. So, it just said, do you stay and balance the situation and face this fear? Or do you follow the little signs that are leading to a greater doorway of a higher calling? Once you make that decision, you like literally, it's like it just gave me like Super Saiyan, like you like super upgrade into this green man energy, which is just, like I said, giving you your own blessings and abundance, and you're just like empowered in yourself, essentially. And I feel like you do achieve this energy no matter which decision you make, honestly. I feel like you achieve this energy no matter which decision you make, but if I were going to choose a path, I'd probably choose this one. Which again is the right hand, it's the right path, right? I would probably choose this one just because this one feels more intense. And if you're already feeling like life is really intense, well, this little energy right here looks small at first, but then it's like it leads to something even greater. Whereas balancing the situation kind of leads you back into maybe some fear and just kind of like some, I want one last card for you. What's the final note on this message? Final note for Scorpio. Hang on, it's trying to give me something. There it is. It just went in my lap. The Stag, Justice. Y'all, so many major arcanas. You got 5 major arcanas in here. The Stag, which is justice, which is very much the law of the land type deal. The axe is double-sided. It swings both ways. It can very much be about karma. So if you're not doing the right things, it will cut you down. If other people aren't doing the right things, it will cut them down. You got to stay in the center balance of making sure that no matter what choice you make, you're doing the right thing on your path. And like I was saying, I don't feel like this is a wrong path versus this one. This one just feels really intense and heavy, and this one feels just better. And that's where, you know, justice is being served for you. That's why you're at this deciding point, because your karma, your decisions, your justice is coming back around to give you this choice. And that's where it can feel very heavy and very stern again, because it's like, well, if I make the right choice, then we're all good. But maybe if I make the wrong choice, it feels like you're getting the side of the axe, right? But he's also got a huge shield, and that's where this is very much like a fatherly energy, just as this one is too. And it's like you're protected, like people are watching out for you, shielding you. Honestly, kind of feels like a boss energy coming off of this right here. So like maybe this is about like your workplace or something a little bit, Scorpio. It's like they got the axe. Like, you know, if you step out of line at your job, then you get the justice you deserve. But as long as you're staying in line, then they very much protect you and shield you and stand up for you, and they've got your back. And so this feels just like fatherly protective energy overall. This feels like fatherly protective energy too, but this also feels like you. And once you make your decision, like spirit in general is protecting you with the shield, but it's also telling you to make sure you're making the right choices at this time, because otherwise, again, karma things come back around. So do what is just and do what is right, and do what it kind of said, like do what would make your father proud type deal. To some people that might not resonate, but to some people it might. So there's something there about like, right? And if it's not about a dad or a boss, then it's within you. Do what makes you feel like you're in the right with your spirit. That's the kind of stuff that you need to make a good choice on there. If it makes you feel right in your spirit, then it's the right choice. This feels more right than this one, because this one feels really intense over here and kind of scary, whereas this one's like, but I got this, right? And someone else is telling you, you got this. And spirits are watching over you, telling you, you got this. Life wouldn't be handing you this stuff if you couldn't handle it, Scorpio. So just make the right decision that sits right with your soul, sits right with your choices and your karma, and you're doing just fine. And that's what I got for you there. So let me know how that resonates for you. Wish you all lots of luck on this decision, on this path, and I will see you guys for the next reading. Thank you.